Angela Merkel is warning that the European Union must prepare for a no-deal Brexit, as trade talks with the UK continue to show little progress. The new EU Council President told the German Bundestag that an autumn deal would be optimal, leaving enough time for all European institutions to ratify and implement the accord. Brussels will host another 2 days of intensified negotiations today and tomorrow, before both sides head to London next week. Brexit deal doubt is not just coming from Angela Merkel. It's a sentiment being echoed by many others. Well, we can go to Brussels to find out more with our correspondent, Shona Murray. Shona, morning to you. What is then the state of play of the talks as it stands now?
Well, so we're coming to the end of the first week of re-intensified negotiations between the EU and the UK following that high-level meeting between Boris Johnson and Ursula von der Leyen. And really the tone coming from it is that there hasn't been much progress at all. Not to mention, of course, what Angela Merkel said, that we need to prepare for a no deal. But also we did hear from Michel Barnier early in the week. He was critical again of the UK and the way it's engaging with the talks, saying that Britain essentially wants to stay in the single market, particularly for services and for goods, but not apply the same rules, not recognise the European Court of Justice. So the impasse remains. Now, there's a lot of people being quite critical, as you can imagine, here in Brussels of the British side, not least, of course, John Bruton, the former EU ambassador to the United States and also the former Taoiseach Prime Minister of Ireland. I talked to him during the week and I asked him what he thought about the UK's position. He first made the point that Boris Johnson had signed up to the withdrawal agreement, the political declaration, and had since resigned from that.
There is an issue of trust. There's an issue of divining what is it that the British really want. Do the British actually want a no-deal Brexit? There are some who suggest they do. Do some people in the Conservative Party want to wreck the European Union? I've seen certain Tory MPs saying we must get Brexit right because we want others to follow us, because we want to set an example in the way we deal with Brexit so that others will leave the European Union. Well, if that's the approach of the British government, it would be better to have no deal.
So that's quite a significant assessment of where we're at when you look at who John Bruton is, of course. He understands how important trade is for the EU and the UK, and yet he still said that maybe we should have no deal rather than allowing the UK engaged in the EU's single market without applying the same rules. And as you heard him there, he also accused some members of the British Tory party of wanting to wreck the European Union. So really they were very strong words, Rosie, and I'm sure we'll probably hear something similar from more people as the months come up ahead. Rosie.
Shona, thank you very much, our correspondent there in Brussels.